Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt-out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today, I am challenging the definition of confidence that has been provided to me by ChatGPT, not to be afraid of the AI thing. I've dived straight in, and if you haven't heard the first section of this, I made it about a week ago, probably last Thursday. So definitely look up the first part of the definition that ChatGPT came up with. I really wish I didn't have to say. Maybe I should just say AI came up with. Because every time I try to say ChatGPT, my teeth and my tongue get all tangled up with each other. I don't know if anybody else has found that. Anyway, so last week we explored the first part of the definition, and this week here comes part 2 of the definition of confidence as provided by ChatGPT. And my contemplations, or in fact complete contradictions of what ChatGPT says about confidence. So here's what we've got today. Confidence this is what ChatGPT said, AI said, confidence can manifest in various ways, such as the willingness to take risks, assertiveness in communicating, and the ability to handle challenges and setbacks with resilience. And then it said, it can be built through experience, competence, positive feedback, and supportive relationships. Now, let's take it in the 2 chunks, because I think the 2 chunks make sense. So, as I've been saying more recently in these sessions, I'm not really sure that confidence really exists in the way that we talk about it anymore. So when the AI says confidence can manifest in various ways and then gives examples, I'm not sure that it is various ways. So it says such as a willingness to take risks, right? Well, you're either doing a thing or not doing a thing. Now, the perception of something having a risk to it, invariably that is a risk to the ego. For example, being embarrassed or saying the wrong thing or looking stupid in front of other people, whatever. There's very rarely, most of our days in our busy lives as business owners or employees or parents or whatever, we're not actually putting ourselves at a physical risk. That's quite rare, isn't it? But the willingness to take risks is just whether or not we're believing some self-doubting thinking that says we can't take a risk, that thing isn't for us, we can't do that, something dreadful's going to happen if we do that. So can you hear how that isn't actually, it's self-doubting thinking, isn't it, as opposed to a tangible thing called confidence. There is a physical form here with a brain and everything else that is either doing a thing or not doing a thing. And really, this idea that we have to feel confident or that there is a thing called confidence is becoming increasingly, to me, seeming more and more like an illusion, really. Because as I say, you're either doing the thing or not doing the thing. You're either taking the risk or not taking the risk, bearing in mind you've created the illusion of something being a risk in the first place anyway. And the only thing that would stop you doing that is some self-doubting thinking, which stops you doing the thing. So you're either believing self-doubting thoughts, which say you can't do the thing and then you don't do the thing, or you're not believing the self-doubting thoughts, so you're doing the thing, or you don't even have any self-doubting thoughts at all about certain things. I'm sure there are plenty of things where you feel confident and therefore don't have any self-doubting thoughts. So that's the first one, willingness to take risks. Assertiveness in communicating. Well, again, you're either okay with saying the thing and saying it, or you're not. You've either got self-doubting thoughts about saying something to somebody, or you haven't. And if you don't have the self-doubting thoughts, or you're at the stage where you can start to gently ignore those thoughts, then you will do the thing. So again, there's either a thing being done or a thing not being done. And then the ability to handle challenges and setbacks with resilience. Again, resilience, what even is that? That to me is like, I'm resilient if I'm just taking the next step from the situation where I am right now. And we all do that, don't we? I've heard resilience described as being, I can't remember who described it this way, but it's like a rope round your middle and it's just pulling you through life all the time. And our ability to handle challenges and setbacks is really our ability to do things or not. And again, that's the thing. There's a mind-body system, as Claire Diamond so beautifully calls it, which is either doing a thing or not doing a thing. It's either doing a thing to address a challenge or a setback that's in front of us, or it's not doing a thing. It's either believing the thoughts that say, well, you can't handle this, you can't do it, you're not going to be able to do it, and therefore not doing it, or you're not believing those thoughts, or you don't have them and you're doing it. So what I'm seeing here about confidence more and more is that it's just become ridiculously complicated, and it has, because you go and this is a real clue in it, is you go on the internet, you search how to grow, build, develop confidence, whatever it is, and there are hundreds of millions, if not billions, of responses. Why is there so much? Why is it that we seem to have to try thing after thing after thing after thing in order to experience confidence? Well, it's because it's an illusion in the first place. So it ends up being like that game of, whack-a-mole, where we're trying all sorts of different things to feel confident. But because we're playing about with an illusion in the first place, we can't do it that way, because it isn't a thing. It doesn't exist. And this is blowing my mind right now, as much as I hope it's blowing yours, because I really do. I don't want to be here saying the same old flipping thing that everybody said to you before about how to grow your confidence and what to do, and how to gratitude journal about yourself or do affirmations or whatever the heck else. I don't want to do that to you. It's cruel. I'd rather point you towards the truth of how you work, because you will find that your ability to do things, because that's really all we want, isn't it? Do we all want to feel confident, or do we just want to get stuff done? I just want to get stuff done, really, without caring how I feel, without needing to feel a particular way, because we get an awful lot done, more done, if we're not waiting to feel a certain way to do those things. So the second part, ChatGPT, I don't know why I keep trying to say that. AI said it can be built through experience, competence, positive feedback, and supportive relationships. And I really say no, 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 no. Confidence is not built. Our ability to do things or not, our ability to do things, for this mind-body system to do things, is innate. There is humans are supposed to do things. That's kind of how we are. Now, I would absolutely agree that if we experience a lack of competence early on in life, and that's seen as a bad thing, that we're told we're stupid because we can't do something, so we start to fail, we start to feel fearful of failure, so we start to experience a lack of competence being a bad thing rather than a lack of competence being learning. If we don't receive that positive feedback, if we're not in supportive relationships, we will develop a lot of this self-doubting thinking that causes a resistance in the system, in the mind-body system, that then says, you can't do that. And it creates resistance. Confidence, if we want to call it anything, is just a lack of that resistance. It's a lack of believing our self-doubting thoughts. It's a lack of being held back by our self-doubting thoughts. That's it. And that, we don't have to experience competence, positive feedback and supportive relationships in order to undo that. That, if we haven't had those things in early life, if it all depended on us getting positive feedback from someone else, I think we'd all be doomed, wouldn't we? Because some of us might work for somebody who doesn't particularly do that, or we might be in a relationship with somebody who doesn't do that. We may not have supportive relationships. Now, as I say, in early childhood, that is what creates this self-doubting thinking. But where I find that super helpful is, if somebody was mean to you as a child, that is the quality of your self-doubting thinking. That person who was cruel to you, who made you feel stupid for getting it wrong, for not being competent, who did not give you positive feedback, who did not provide you with a supportive relationship, do you really want to be ruled by that person? And that, for me, is the element of quality control for your self-doubting thinking. You don't have to believe what you think particularly about yourself. Now, if you're a super busy person and you would like to get more things done without being held back by your thinking, by your conditioning, by those self-doubting thoughts, without necessarily needing to build your confidence, you just want to get stuff done. That's all we all want to do, really, isn't it? When we talk about feeling more confident, it's because we want to do something that we're not doing. If that's what you'd like to do, if you just like to do more things that seem illusory at the moment, then please do reach out, get in touch. The first hour that we spend together is a real hour of coaching. That's one way to start your journey with me. Somewhere around here, you'll be able to find the link, and it's on my website, clairedownham.com. You can find the link for the 5 simple truths to take you closer to calm. Another little step you could take in this direction. Exploring life from this perspective is the most life-changing thing I think any of us can ever do. It's a beautiful journey. It's with lovely people like me. So I'd say that. It's true, it's a beautiful community. I really do recommend finding somebody who's going to guide you on this journey. I would love it to be me. But first of all, let's talk, let's connect, come into my little world and let's start this journey together. So there we go. Let's hope ChatGPT isn't listening and is going to come and get me for tearing the definition to pieces. I hope you found that helpful. Lots of love and have a marvellous day. Take care.
Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.